Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. Today I'm coming to you from Putachat Park near the mall Bangkok. Uh, a few weeks ago, Bel Air 2000 uploaded an interesting video titled My Thai Wife, How Guys Lose It All in Thailand, Scams. The story follows Ted as he falls for Teep, a bar girl. In the beginning of the video, Ted makes the comment that when someone needs you, you feel obliged to take care of her. Some might call this codependent, but when you feel obliged to take care of a prostitute, I call this the Captain Save a Whore syndrome. So, mistake number one, trying to save a woman. Ted is no Richard Gere, and Teep is no Julia Roberts. This isn't a movie, it's real life. He goes on to say that he knew something wasn't right and that he knew he was being conned. So instead of trusting his intuition, he proceeded to get screwed over. So that brings me to mistake number two. He didn't trust his instincts. And this is something that men and women struggle with sometimes for whatever reason. They feel something isn't right and yet they don't act on the situation. He's shown flirting with several bar girls in the beginning, and most of which I think most Thais would find him unattractive. I find him unattractive, the ones they were showing him with, but that's irrelevant. But he comments how people say to him, the poor little Thai bar girls, blah, 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 they're being forced into working in the bar, and that, you know, it's just a business transaction. He goes on to say that they do exactly what they want at a price that's acceptable to them. I'm a consumer. They're happy, I'm happy. What the hell is wrong with that? Well, mistake number three, if he's a consumer, then his dealings with the women are nothing more than business transactions. He needs to remember this. And this comes back to haunt him at the end of the movie or the video. Whether illegal or legal, whether amoral or moral, prostitution takes place all over the world. People use electricians to wire their homes and businesses. They use plumbers to fix their sinks and toilets. And prostitutes are to take care of their sexual and maybe their emotional needs. Prostitutes are not meant to be used as wives. So, mistake number four. You're in a bar with bar girls who want your money, and they are willing to exchange their time for your money. Ted goes on to say, if you get divorced at 32, there's not much on the cards for you. All you have to look forward to is a woman with 3 kids and a load of emotional baggage. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand where he's coming from. You come to Thailand and suddenly there's all these nubile young things that genuinely want to be with you. Well, mistake number 4. You're in a bar with bar girls who want your money, and they are willing to exchange their time for your money. That does not mean they genuinely want to be with you for the right reason. Suddenly, he says, a beautiful girl was in the corner of my eye, and each time I glanced, she was smiling at me. Mistake number 5. Ted was obviously not accustomed to getting attention from women. Because just because a woman smiles at you and is giving you the eye, winking at you, it doesn't mean you have to take her to your room, or more importantly, fall in love with her, marry her, and lose all your money. He goes on to talk about how she's helping him, and how every day she helps him more and more, and it saves him time and money. And then he says, suddenly she's in control of my money. Once he gets married, he says, I could have opened a bank account and but I basically turned everything over to her. This is the ultimate in stupidity, in my opinion. He barely knows this girl. She's a working girl. And he's giving his life savings to her because she's good with money. So good with money that it became difficult for him to get money to fill up his motorbike, and he couldn't get HBO, even though HBO is, to get HBO on cable here, it's relatively inexpensive. So mistake number 6, when it becomes difficult for you to get money to fill up your motorbike or to get HBO, this is the time to stand up, be a man, and tell her you want that money, it's your money, and you're not going to settle for anything less. And if you have to, that means getting difficult with her, getting into a fight. It means doing whatever you have to do. It's your money. You need to have some control. You can both be in control of the money. It can be 50-50 if that's what you want, but really you need to stand up and be a man. That's his other mistake. He didn't stand up for himself. He should have yelled, screamed, discussed, whatever it took, but he should have manned up. He didn't need to let her dictate the money down to every last satang. So, you know, he barely knew this girl, and he gave her all his money. That's mistake number 7. You don't know somebody and you're going to give them your life savings. Are you that needy? I don't really think it was that he was that trusting. He may have been trusting, but I think it was more that he was so needy and so starved for attention from a woman that he thought was attractive that he was willing to do anything. He goes on to say, she created this thing that she needed me, and I quite like that. So mistake number 8, he probably never felt anyone really needed him at home, and thus when she needed him, he felt that urge to be Captain Save-A-Whore. All it took was her telling him she needed him, and he came running. He sold everything and he flew back to Thailand. Boom, she's got him hooked. He wasn't getting what he needed at home, and he must have felt that she was the one to give him what he needed. She sort of said, for the sake of her position in the village, we have to do a Thai wedding. Well, again, it comes down to choice. Mistake number 8. Getting married, even a Thai marriage, which isn't legal outside of Thailand, or I don't think it's even legal in Thailand, because if it is legal, you need to register it at the Ampur. Okay, so you know, the thing is, you shouldn't be getting married to a person you barely know, and you shouldn't be getting married because someone is pressuring you to do that. So that was mistake number 8. We had a certain amount of cash, and it would be silly to fritter it away. I built a house with it, a pig farm, and with it, a life. Well, I'm sorry, I got to say this again, and this relates to some of the other mistakes, but mistake number 9, she wouldn't even give you money to put gas in your motorbike, and you're going to build her a house? I mean, she's a prostitute. This is she hit the jackpot with you, okay? So Edward didn't, this is what Teep said, Edward didn't think to do anything. People here said we wouldn't last because he didn't do anything. He didn't do any work. Mistake number 10. He paid for everything, and he thought since he paid, he didn't have to do much physical labor. But at least in the beginning, from what he said, it sounds like he did do work. Later on, when the magic of the relationship wears off and reality sets in, as it always does, it sounds like she was working very, very hard, and he was working very, very little. And what he wanted probably was the girl who was fawning over him in the beginning, and all she really wanted was to make sure that she was never poor to the point where she couldn't take care of her and her daughter, and then her daughter wouldn't be in the same position as she was. In the end, you know, Ted is shown trying to hug Teep in public, Maybe he thought it was okay, but she's clearly, very clearly not into it. When he tried to kiss her, she's not into it. So she'd probably had her fill of him. But he still is pushing her and grabbing her and trying to get close to her. Then he's playing finger games with Mint and pestering Teep to play finger games with him. Even after he lost everything because of her, he's still desperate for their approval. And, you know, she's no angel herself, for sure. She had already taken everything from him. You can say that she didn't take it, she didn't steal it, whatever. I disagree with that. But she had to get her last dig in at him when he said goodbye. And then she says, goodbye forever. So this is a woman that very clearly did not want him in her life. If you listen closely, you can hear her, or hear him rather, asking, are you serious? Serious? So he was still, even to that last minute with her, that last few seconds with her, he was still in search of her approval and her love. He needed that. And to me, that's sad. This video could have been much, much better if there were subtitles. Let's face it, not everybody can understand Thai. They really should have taken the time to put subtitles. I'm sure they could go back if they wanted and do that. Also, if they concentrated more on why Teep kicked Ted or Edward, whatever she wants to call him, why she kicked him out, I think that might have been a little better, because we're still left. I mean, you know, she said he didn't work that much, and she said he was, you know, was drinking or whatever. But I think there was more to it than that. You know, Mint seemed to have quite a bit of influence over Teep, and when she said, "I jealous Farang," those words gave insight into her persona. You know, I'm jealous of Donald Trump. I mean, I wish I had what he had sometimes. But how positive are those feelings? What do they do for you? You know, you can understand that life is what you make it. You can let the wealth of others motivate you, or you can let it make you bitter. And I think in her case, it made her bitter. You know, she also said that when the two, Ted and Teep, got married, they had so much money. Pay for everything. At least someone acknowledges this. I never heard Teep acknowledge anything or even, you know, thank him for what he had done for her. You know, and Mint had said that she took care of her whole family. She does this for her mother. She does that for her son, and she takes care of this person and that person. The thing is that she's taking care of her whole family. Well, this guy Ted took care of his family. He took care of Teep and her daughter, and she threw him out. So what does that say about her? You know, sorry, but I just don't think that this girl is a very good girl. I mean, if that's not obvious to you, he's not the brightest bulb, but she's definitely not a very good girl. Ted had a problem, and he didn't have the sort of woman he wanted, and he felt unwanted. Teep also had a problem. She was desperate for a better life for herself and her daughter. And, you know, we all want a better life for our kids and for ourselves. But once she met Mint, she gained the confidence to look for a foreigner who might have the solution to her problem. And that foreigner was Ted. When Teep made the comment, Thai people work very hard, little money. Farang work a little bit, big money. It showed how very little she knows about the outside world and about foreigners. Viewers may not know this, but in the end, when Teep was walking through the field, she says, "I want to work as an air hostess." Clearly, she's delusional, because in my opinion, the chance of her ever working for an airline as a stewardess is zilch. She'll never work for an airline, so she's kidding herself. Now, she could be a pig farmer, she might work in a restaurant, you know, or operate a little store or something like that, but I never can see this girl being a stewardess. I'm sure many Farang disagree with her assessment that you know, Thai people work very hard and they have little money, and Farang work only a little bit and they have big money. And I also think that many Thai people with money would disagree with her also. But, you know, in the end, it's easy to blame Ted for being foolish or Teep for being a thief. It's easy to blame cultural differences. And the truth is, it takes two to tango. Ted broke the golden rule. You don't get emotionally involved with a working girl, a prostitute. Teep rather, let her need and greed justify her actions. Fortunately, you know, well, first, she came off in this video as a straight up thief, in my opinion. And she should be lucky she didn't marry a man who had any balls, because who knows what would have happened to her if she had. But then again, I think this is probably why she ended up with this guy Ted, because she could easily manipulate him. And she knew this. Also, I have to say that this video is reflective of only a very small percentage of Thai women. The majority of Thai women are good, hard-working women. They just want to go to work. They want to do their thing. You know, if they hook up with a good man, decent man, this is not how they are. So only a small percentage of women, Thai women, are like this. There are good women and there are bad women, you know, just like anywhere else. That, and there's a saying here in Thailand, flies, ต้องรู้จักคุณนาน and that means need to know you. I need to know you for a long time. So some women, it doesn't matter what you look like. You may be cute, they might want to spend time with you, but as far as getting seriously involved or getting married or becoming your girlfriend, some of them, they still subscribe to that, you know, hey, I want to get to know you. Give it time. If more men applied the golden rule, they didn't let the little head do the thinking for them instead of the big head, and they took the time to get to know a person, I think we would hear less stories like Ted and Teeps. Anyhow, that's all for now. If you could, please click like, and for more videos on Thailand, click subscribe. โชคดีและเจอกันใหม่. That's good luck and see you later.